Are you experiencing stress, anxiety, or unhappiness? Do you feel weighed down by the past? Stay tuned for a special message from Roland Trujillo, host of the Shedding Shackles radio program. For over 25 years, Roland Trujillo has been helping people shed the shackles of unhappy memories, consisting of upset, hurt feelings, and negative emotions that bind them to the past. Over the years, many people have listened to and benefited from Roland's positive message. Perhaps you too can discover the secret to becoming free from the past and moving forward to live a new life of joy and purpose. And now, here's your Shedding Shackles host, Roland Trujillo.
Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Roland. The program is called Shedding Shackles. This is a very special program. It's for people who have a lot of stress. And I want to share this with you. And I want to say that the greatest stress expert, the one who conquered all stress, was of course Jesus. He conquered stress. Do you realize that everything that he went through was a stress? Not only the stress of people who mocked him and scorned him, but he overcame all of the stresses by not hating. He was hated, but he didn't hate back. He was mocked. He didn't mock back. People did him wrong, but he didn't do them wrong. And he didn't throw in the towel and go along to get along. He spoke up. He told the truth. He was honest with people and not phony. And at the end, he was killed, but you know what? He overcame death. He overcame not only all the things that I just mentioned, but he also overcame the evil in the world that stands behind all of these bad things. You see, people mostly don't know what they're doing. People say things and do things, and they don't really mean to hurt you, but something comes over them. Somehow they were hurt. And they were compromised, and now they do unto others what was done to them. And so, you mustn't hate people. See that something is operating through them. Let's call it some kind of programming that gets inside when they react. When they reacted, when they were children, they reacted, it got inside. And now inside of them, it acts through them, so don't hate them. Jesus conquered it all. And then he conquered death. He took his body back. So now we must follow him. And what did he tell us to do? He said, don't hate other people. Don't resent them. Watch and don't hate. And if you can do a kindness, go ahead. If you can tell them the truth, go ahead. But if you don't have the opportunity, or if it would be unwise, then remain silent. But the most important thing is don't hate them. Do you see that if you don't hate them, if you don't resent them, if you don't doubt what's right, if you hold fast to noble principles, then you do what he did, and you win. You win, and don't lose. And your family needs to see you win. Your children need to see you win. I have a special meditation that's just for people who love the truth, and who see that sometimes they say things they don't want to say and do things they don't want to do. And they see that, and they would like to stop doing it, but they don't know how to stop. They know how to pretend on the surface, but they don't know how to really underneath operate out of the beautiful principles that they love. Well, this meditation will help you. It helps you to put your Christianity into practice. We all know we're supposed to be patient with others, but we become angry and upset. We all know that we should be honest with people, but we climb up and we're phony. Do you see what I mean? So, if you could be honest with people, if you could speak the truth, but with kindness, not with anger, if you could be patient with people and patient with yourself, most of your issues would resolve themselves. And this meditation is very Christian. It simply teaches you how to become still and sit quietly, so that you can be more prayerful. See, you need a prayerful attitude. You know how it is before you get upset, before you became angry, before something irritated you. Do you know how you sometimes feel very calm and composed? But then what happens? Something gets to you. So this meditation simply teaches you how to become composed and then how to take that with you out into the world, so that when you're assailed by things, or when people do things, then you won't hate them. You won't be angry at them. You won't react to them. You'll just watch, and you'll be safe. And so this little meditation is just for you, to help you conquer stress and be a better Christian, to be a better mom, a better dad, calmer, with more patience. And then you can more easily put into practice the beautiful principles that you love. To get the little meditation that I have, that I've talked about now for over 30 years on the air, it's so simple. You simply learn how to sit quietly. You can go in your room, close the door, and sit in a chair, or go sit on your sofa, or find a quiet place in your home, or out in the yard, or on your porch, or somewhere, and sit quietly and look at the inside of your eyelids and see the little patterns of light. When you close your eyes and you look at the inside of your eyelids, you will see a little bit of light there, a glow of light, a warm light, delicate little pixels of light. Just watch those, look at them. And while you're looking at those little pixels of light, you can also become aware of your hand. For example, you can become aware of your index finger. If you're sitting quietly in your room, safely and quietly in your room or on your couch, then become aware of your index finger. When you notice your index finger, when you give your loving awareness to your index finger very gently, it answers you with a little tingle. Maybe no one ever paid attention to it with love before. This is the first time that you're sitting quietly and looking at the little patterns of light on the inside of your eyelids. And at the same time, you give your attention to your index finger, and it answers you. It responds with a little tingle, a gentle tingle. And now a flow has been established between the inner light, the inner spiritual light from God. In His kingdom, it's always sunny and warm. And a little bit of that light, now you see it when you look at the inside of your eyelids. And then, at the same time, you become aware of your index finger. And now you are sharing some of that light with your finger. And it responds with a little tingle. Then you can become aware of your second finger in the same way. And your third finger. And your fourth finger. And your thumb. Notice your thumb. Give your attention to your thumb. At the same time, looking at the little pixels on the inside of your eyelids. And that's the little meditation exercise. It restores you to your center of dignity. It puts you back in touch with the inner light from God. And you become calmer. And you share some of the warmth and the light that you get with your body. And now you do this for a few minutes every morning at noon and in the evening. Then when you go out in the world, you will bring some of that with you. You will bring some of that little bit of detachment, a little bit of distance, like you had when you were a little child. You will bring that with you out into the world. And now, when you see people, you don't hate them. And when things happen, you don't get angry anymore. Or you get less angry, and then less and less and less, and less resentful. And so now it reminds you. So you're out in the world, and all of a sudden you find yourself getting too involved in something, and you just notice that. And somehow you're reminded, and then you take a mental step back. Then somebody comes along and they try to create some kind of an argument, and you you just take a mental step back and you don't become angry or involved. And you find yourself way lost in music or something, and you take a mental step back, and now you're not lost in it anymore. You have a more observant attitude, a calmer attitude, a more thoughtful attitude. And you calm down, and you also have a good effect on other people. So it's just a beautiful thing. But it all begins with sitting quietly, watching the little pixels on the inside of your eyelids. And then going out in the world and watching like when you were a little child. You watched people, you saw things, and you marveled. And that's the kind of life. Christ said, unless you become like a little child, you cannot enter into the kingdom of God. Now you understand what he meant. So, could you begin to do the little meditation every morning? First thing, before you go out in the world and get upset. And maybe at noon a little bit, and in the evening, could you do that? Well, I have a meditation, and it's like what I just have been doing right now. The very same thing that I've been doing now. In fact, you could get this radio program. You could go to sheddingshackles.com, sheddingshackles.net, or sheddingshackles.us. And up at the top, you see a nice little slideshow. One of them says meditation. You click on it, and then you get this. Download it, and you could listen to this, what I just did, to help you, to guide you a little bit in getting started with your meditation. And then once you have been guided a little bit by me a few times, then you do it on your own. It's that simple. You can do it on your own anytime. But it helps you to get started. So you have to start somewhere. Was it Confucius who said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step? But the beautiful thing about God's kingdom is that it's not 1,000 miles. You see, God's kingdom is not subject to time or distance. It's a little step. It's a little step, and you're there. So, it's a very beautiful thing. Christ came to tell us, to proclaim the kingdom of God. And it's a little step. All you need to do is want it and yearn for it, and disregard the stubbornness. Disregard the part of you that doesn't like this, that doesn't want to do the meditation, that isn't interested in truth. Part of you is, part of you resists. Just watch that part. Don't react to it. Don't get angry at it. Just see it. Know now that it's not you. It came into you from outside, and it's the same thing that has tormented and made other people stubborn and harsh and mean. That's what happened to them. Now you can forgive them. You understand. They may not really want to be mean. They may not want to hurt you, but something is compelling them to. So forgive. Let it go. And watch. And you'll be safe. Now, I want you to go to my website and get the meditation. Give it a try. It's free. It's free. And my website is sheddingshackles.com, sheddingshackles.net, or sheddingshackles.us. Until next time, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.